basketball fans. We are coming to you live from Southorn Stadium right here in Wan Chai, Hong Kong. Home of the defending champions for other live and exclusive coverage of your Asean Basketball League. And this is our game at hand. Hong Kong Eastern basketball team looking to bounce back from their first loss of the season against the visiting Dreamers. It's a full house here in Wan Chai, Hong Kong, as usual. And the fans, of course, are looking for a win, a bounce-back win for their home team. As we take a look at our team standings right now, Martin Javier with Marco Benitez right here in our coverage.
But don't let the standings fool you. Hong Kong at 7-1, while the Dreamers at 1-7. But the Dreamers still continuing to improve. They've added another piece to their puzzle. Big man world import Ronnie Aguilar replacing Reggie Acosta. 22 points, 22 rebounds in their last game. As you take a look at their last meeting, December 17. This was a very lopsided match in Taiwan, 120-97. The Hong Kong Eastern outscored the Dreamers about 73 points to 45 in those middle two quarters. Really dominated in that game, especially after employing their full court pressure. So that is going to be one of the things that we're going to be looking at here. If the Dreamers can really overcome and start playing more mature basketball against a powerhouse Hong Kong squad, or if the Hong Kong Eastern squad will continue will drop another game here against a very exciting Dreamers squad.
Let's leave the discussion there first, and let's go to our Coliseum announcer for the team presentations and pre-game activities right here in Southorn Stadium.
好啦，歡迎大家嚟到咧收到現場，即將就會上演我哋 ABL 東南亞職業籃球聯賽香港東方第4場主場賽事。今日嘅對手會係嚟自台灣嘅寶島夢想家。接住落嚟，請大家以熱烈掌聲歡迎兩隊嘅球員，跟住就會有港虎介紹。Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Asean Basketball League matchup between the visiting Formosa Dreamers and your Hong Kong Eastern. Let's get going. First, for the Formosa Dreamers. Number 1, Chen Ji-Huan. Number 3, Lee Bin-Hong. Number 15, Lee Xia-Chen. Number 3, Wu Sun-Wei. Number 32, Tsai Chen-Chen. Number 44, Charles Barrett. And service for the Dreamers, number 4, Lenny Daniel. Number 5, Chen Yu-Han. Number 6, Ronnie Aguilar. Number 7, Liang Tianyou. And number 10, Chai Wei. Head coach for Formosa Dreamers is Xu Lao Chen. Assistant coach is Tsai Yao Chen. And now put your hands together for the lineup for Hong Kong Eastern. Over double zero into dance. Number 14, 10. 大家熱烈掌聲，歡迎兩隊同埋執教嘅三位球證。
All right, we resume our coverage here in Southorn Stadium, Wan Chai, Hong Kong. Again, this is a game between the defending champions, Hong Kong Eastern basketball team, and the visiting Dreamers. And continuing our coverage here, Martin Javier with Marco Benitez. Great game at hand here, Marco. For Hong Kong, they're looking to bounce back after their big loss, their first loss of the season against the Saigon Heat. On the other side, the Dreamers, in arguably one of their best games of the season against the Westport's Malaysia Dragons. They're going to be fielding their, or he's going to be in his second game today, Ronnie Aguilar for the Dreamers. But let's talk about Christian Sanhardinger first. He did have 37 points and 19 rebounds, but he missed a lot of free throws, 12 to be exact, 5 out of 17 from the free throw line. Could have easily had 40-plus points in that game and won that game for his team. But Christian Sanhardinger is still solid for Hong Kong in that game.
Well, he has been solid all season long, but I think that is the stat that that really sticks out for him, that 5 out of 17, missing 12 free throw attempts. And in a game as close as that went to overtime, those free throws are going to be crucial. And after that game, you saw Christian Sanhardinger still practicing on those free throw attempts even after the game.
Yep.
So you can be sure that's one of the things that he really worked on during that break prior to this game.
And that's called dedication for Christian Sanhardinger. Let's see if he does a better job here. Hong Kong shot a total of 16 out of 33 from the free throw line, as you can see on your screens. Their first loss of the season against the Saigon Heat, 121 to 115, and that came in overtime as well. They had a chance to win it in regulation. They led it 106-103, but Michael Williams tying it with a three-pointer as well. Now let's go to the other side. The Formosa Dreamers, their previous game against the Westport's Malaysia Dragons, their new guy, their new center, Ronnie Aguilar. What a way to make a debut in the Asean Basketball League. 2020 game, 22 and 22 for the Dreamers.
Well, he might be the missing piece that the Dreamers are looking for. A guy who likes to play with his back to the basket, really goes hard, strong, has that right-handed and left-handed hook shot, as you see there in the highlights. Also can protect the paint, get those rebounds. He's going to have to be more aggressive on the defensive end against that front line of Hong Kong in Sanhardinger and Ryan Moss. But Ronnie Aguilar could potentially be a big piece here to complement Lenny Daniel. As you saw in that the stats of this last game, lost to Westport's 84-74. They were in it pretty much the entire way, except in the last couple of minutes in the fourth quarter, when Westport started to hit big shots, care of Marcus Marshall and Joshua Monzon. As you take a look at the starting lineup, No Cho Tsuwa there on the starting lineup. Yang Tian Yo will make the start here for the Dreamers, while for Hong Kong, the usual starters for Coach Edu Torres, one of the most potent starting fives we have here in the ABL.
Yes, Marco, two things can happen here for the Formosa Dreamers in facing the defending champions at this stage of the tournament. They're coming off the loss. So either you face a very vulnerable Hong Kong team, or you face a proud defending champions that's looking to bounce back big and make a statement.
I know, Martin, I think the odds are that Hong Kong will come out strong. Remember that game against Saigon started out pretty soft, allowed Saigon to score 35 points in the first quarter. They hit 9 out of 9 in their first 9 field goals, 6 3-pointers to start out the game for Saigon. So expect Hong Kong to try to lock this down on the defensive end. In particular, I expect Tyler Lamb to really come out scoring, or come out very aggressive here. He had just 11 points. Prior to that game, he and Sanhardinger were their leading scorers, but 11 points for Tyler Lamb in that game against Saigon. That does not happen very often for the Heritage Import.
That's a player we should watch out for today. Tyler Lamb, averaging about 25 points per game in the season. Only had 11, 4 out of 16, like you mentioned, Marco, from the field. And
some of the positives, though, Martin, for the Dreamers, they actually out-rebounded the Westport's Malaysia Dragons 62-50, had 26 offensive rebounds. They led in terms of second chance points, 22-10. So I think for me, one of the keys for them is to dominate inside. You know, the front line of Hong Kong Eastern, apart from Sanhardinger and apart from Ryan Moss, not really that deep. So if Aguilar and Lenny Daniel can really pound the ball inside the paint, flex their muscle inside, get Sanhardinger and Ryan Moss. We know very prone to getting into foul trouble. If they can get them in foul trouble early, that could be a big positive here for Coach Tsu Hao Cheng.
Ronnie Aguilar standing about 7'2", already making his presence felt in the Asean Basketball League with a 2020 game against the Westport's Malaysia Dragons on the road. Here we go, start off the game. Hong Kong Eastern basketball team against the Dreamers.
And of course, the most important thing for the Dreamers is to minimize turnovers. Remember, they drew even at 25 apiece in the second quarter of their last meeting. But then Hong Kong, after that, the 1-2 full court pressure erupted with an 11-1 run and pretty much decided that ball game as Tyler Lam, as we mentioned, starting out really strong here with that strong penetration.
And that's a good way to bounce back if you're Tyler Lam. Get yourself going early in the game. Lenny Daniel from straight away there knocks down the three.
Lenny Daniel shoots it at about 33% from long distance, so you really have to come out to him.
Marcus Elliott, they go inside. Moss denied by Daniel. Moss again on the putback.
Ryan Moss, that is where he operates within 10 feet, will not give up that easily.
Only 7 points for Moss in a game against the Heat. Lenny Daniel now. They go to the corner. Chai Wei drives. No good. Marcus Elliott gets the board. And Chen Yuhan intercepting, almost getting the steal there.
Nice anticipation of that pass from Marcus Elliott. So they've scouted Hong Kong. They know that Hong Kong likes to make that forward pass to try to get easy baskets in transition.
And they get the steal here, or almost at least. A jump ball is called.
And it's going to stay with Hong Kong as Dreamers won the jump ball.
Remember, Marcus Elliott had 25 first half points against the Saigon Heat. Probably his best game of the season there. Lee Kee now fouled by Yang Tianyou.
That's a useless foul there on the part of Yang Tianyou. Lee Kee had not made a move right away. But they've got to take care of those fouls. They can't be careless with their fouls. Hong Kong is a very good free throw shooting team.
And right off the inbound there, Marcus Elliott inside, fouled by Chai Wei. And 2 quick fouls called on the Dreamers.
And Hong Kong taking a page out of the Westport's Malaysia Dragons playbook, attacking the smaller perimeter guys of the Dreamers. We saw how Marcus Marshall and Joshua Munzon tried to post up their defenders in Yang Tianyou, Chen Yuhan. Usually smaller backcourt of the Dreamers, a liability against the stronger, taller guards of Hong Kong Eastern.
Now this is going to be a nightmare for the guards of the Dreamers today, because off the bench you have Lee Ping Hung and Woo Sung Wei.
Also not known as good post defenders, but one thing going for them is Marcus Elliott, Tyler Lam, and Lee Kee do not really like to play in the post, probably except for Marcus Elliott.
Here's Yang, gets inside, nice fake, and he puts the basket in.
And Ryan Moss was too worried, trying to find out where Ronnie Aguilar was on the floor. Did not get the help on Yang.
Stan Hardinger on the fade, nothing there. Ryan Moss gets the offensive rebound. Looking for a teammate, gets it to Elliott. Chen Yuhan guarding him now. Elliott frees himself up, nothing there. Yang Tianyou, go-ahead pass, Chai Wei. Ahead of the back, Chai Wei on the reverse. The lefty reverse is good.
That's a nice, smart, athletic move there from Chai Wei. Saw 2 defenders going up on the strong side, takes it on the reverse with the left hand.
An early 7-5 lead for the visiting Dreamers. 7.5 minutes left in our opening period. Stan Hardinger puts it on the floor. Short. He gets the ball back. Lee Kee now. Blows by his defender. He sends it back out. Elliott. Fouled by Chen Yuhan.
And that's going to be 3 quick team fouls on the Dreamers with still 7:19 remaining.
It's a lot of fouls giving up early here in the game for the Dreamers. Marcus Elliott to Stan Hardinger from the free throw line. Hey, Daniel just let him shoot there.
And that's almost automatic for Stan Hardinger. Average about 54% from the field.
Just shy away from the corner, too strong. Lee Kee. On the move, Lee Kee all the way, gets fouled. He heads to the line for 2 shots.
Lee Kee doing a good job protecting that basketball. Last year's #1 fast-breaking team, the Hong Kong Eastern squad.
It's a move, Lee Kee and Chai Wei called for his 2nd personal foul. Lee Kee had 13 points in their previous contest. Only took 5 shots, though, from the field.
And he's going to have to shoot a lot more, especially since he's probably the most important local contributor here for Hong Kong, especially since Fong Xing Yi, Chan Shu Wing no longer in the lineup this season.
And they only made 3 baskets from the field. 2 of those came at the tail end of our regulation. Aguilar on the turnaround. Short. He gets the ball back. Fresh 14 for the Dreamers. Ball tapped away by Stan Hardinger. And 10 seconds to shoot for the visiting squad.
And Ryan Moss doing a good job really standing his ground, protecting that painted area from Aguilar's post-up.
So it's going to be Yang Chen Yeo inbounding the basketball. Still same lineup. Oh no, Lee Ping Hung enters the game for Chai Wei, though. Aguilar with a save, and it goes out of bounds. Turnover for the Dreamers.
And this is going to be a challenge, the challenge for Ronnie Aguilar because of the strength, upper body strength of Ryan Moss. It's going to be hard for Aguilar to get good post position.
Marcus Elliott to Lam, shoots the 3. Tyler Lam knocks it down.
And you see how quick Tyler Lam got that shot off after that pin down screen.
And he gets the steal on the other end. Great hustle from Tyler Lam there. Lee Kee on the move to Stan Hardinger. He goes to the other side and gets the basket.
And that's 2 fast break attempts already for the Hong Kong Eastern squad. Quarterback by Lee Kee.
14-7 in favor of backdoor coverage here in the Asean Basketball League. As you guys can see, the crowd inside Southorn Stadium. A full house as usual.
And Coach Edu Torres looking like he will impose that full court pressure early in this game. Still with 6 minutes left. 2 turnovers already for the Dreamers, allowing Hong Kong to score 5 points off turnovers. Remember, Hong Kong is the #1 team in terms of forcing turnovers. They force about 18 turnovers per game.
And Tyler Lam sparking the 5-0 run there. First with the 3, then he got the steal on the other end and the assist to Christian Stan Hardinger. It was Lee Kee who got the assist rather. Benny Daniel, though, gets his 5th point off the game.
Daniel using his athleticism there against Stan Hardinger.
And they forced the turnover in Hong Kong. Great hustle from Lee Ping Hung. This is a better matchup for the Dreamers. Lee Ping Hung on Marcus Elliott.
Lee Ping Hung is arguably their toughest and peskiest defender in the perimeter.
Lee losing the headband. Lenny Daniel left wide open for 3. Too strong. Stan Hardinger gets the board. Leakey fakes the pass, brings the ball down. Oh, pass too strong though. Aguilar retrieves it. Lenny Daniel could not catch the ball. A wasted opportunity for the Dreamers. That could have been an easy two for Lenny Daniel.
Tony Aguilar trying to go with that overhead pass. Should have probably gone with that chest pass straight to Lenny Daniel.
Hong Kong Eastern with a 5-point lead. Marcus Elliott with a left hand. Ryan Moss on the follow.
Nice read there on the defense by Marcus Elliott. Saw that Lee Ping Hung was overplaying. Goes hard to his left. No help defense. Easy putback for Ryan Moss.
Halfway mark in our first period. 7-point lead for Hong Kong Eastern. Make that 5. Basket counts for Lenny Daniel plus the foul on Ryan Moss. He'll get a bonus at the free throw line.
And Lenny Daniel playing higher percentage basketball right here. After his missed 3-point shot, his next 2 attempts have been within or inside the paint. This is his second one, and then drawing the foul against Ryan Moss.
Lenny Daniel, though, at 20 points against the Westport's Malaysia Dragons. Though he only shot 2 out of 8 from the line.
I still feel Lenny Daniel is at his best, close to the basket or going hard to the basket. He can occasionally hit that 3-pointer. He's a good percentage from there, but he's much better taking it strong because of his athleticism.
Here's Lenny, speaking off, leaves it to Aguilar. That one's off, and Marcus Elliott gets the board. Ahead to Moss, all alone for the jam!
And Lenny Daniel was too worried about Christian Stan Harding and Ryan Moss doing a good job outrunning Ronnie Aguilar in transition.
Can't have those lapses against the defending champs. Shan Yuhan now. Daniel to Lee Ping Hung, corner 3.
And Hong Kong is going to give the Dreamers that shot all evening long.
Leakey with a push-off, goes inside to Stan Hardinger, gets fouled. It's going to be on Lenny Daniel.
And I like how Lee Kee keeps putting pressure on the defense. That time when he did have a shot, took it out, but again, immediately made a bounce pass to the streaking Stan Hardinger, who draws the foul on Lenny Daniel.
So here we go. First trip to the free throw line for Christian Stan Hardinger. He went 5 out of 17 from the line. Knocks down the first there.
That's a good sign for Coach Edu Torres.
Again, right after the game, when everybody has already left the stadium, Christian Stan Hardinger shot free throws.
And he was telling us to stop calling out his name during the free throw sequence.
All right, 20-11 here, 9-point lead for Hong Kong Eastern. Under 4 minutes remaining in the first. Aguilar puts it on the floor against Christian. Goes to the corner, Chen Yuhan. Too strong, Aguilar, the tip, nothing there as well. Here's Elliott, nice pass. And Moss again with the finish.
And a nice no-look pass there by Elliott, looking like he was going to drop it off to Stan Hardinger, getting the defense to look that way.
And Ryan Moss leading the way now for Hong Kong with 8 points. 4 out of 5 from the field. Lee Ping Hung forcing one up. Not a good possession for the Dreamers. Tyler Lam on the pull-up 3, in and out. And it's Aguilar with the rebound. Lenny Daniel one-on-one, blows by his defender. The fake, the layup is good.
That's a nice smart move there from Lenny Daniel, allowing Lee Kee to blow by him. Easy 2 points. So the Dreamers sticking within striking distance here, just down by 9.
Breaking the 6-0 run for Hong Kong there. Lee Kee fires away, nothing there. And ball will go to the Dreamers. Substitution here, Lau Chi Lai will enter the game for Tyler Lam, and Yang Tian Yo, or Woo Seung Wei rather, back on the floor.
This is the super sub of the Dreamers. Woo Seung Wei had 13 points in 11 minutes of play. Really their deadliest 3-point shooter, shoots it at about 50%. And that's going to be a foul on Lau Tzu Lai, introducing himself reintroducing himself to Woo Sung Wei.
Woo Sung Wei, though, has been averaging 16.7 points in his last 3 games against the Dreamers, in limited minutes as well, off the bench. Aguilar has that height advantage, but you can see he has that difficulty in pushing off Ryan Moss.
That's because of Ryan Moss, this, aside from his upper body strength, is able to get to a lower base. So Aguilar really having a hard time backing down against him. And Woo Shuk Pan checks into the game. He was previously injured. I think that was last December.
A 6'8" local for the Hong Kong Eastern basketball team. A welcome addition to the lineup of Coach Edu Torres. Another big guy off the bench for him. Marcus Elliott with a sick crossover there. Corner 3 for Lee Kee, too strong. Marcus Elliott gets the offensive board.
Showing us the handles.
He's toying around his defenders here. He goes to Lee Kee again. 4 seconds to shoot for Hong Kong. He dumps it off inside. Easily picked off by Woo Sung Wei.
And Lee Kee was better off taking that shot because Woo Shuk Pan does not normally, or is not used to getting it that close to the basket. But Woo Sung Wei continuing his hot shooting streak.
They go to Woo Shuk Pan now. 22-16 Dreamers. Trying to keep in step with the defending champs. Last touch on the Dreamers, though.
Fancy pass there coming from Lee Kee. Christian Stan-Harding has one of the best hands among big men. New faces on the floor, Adam Su and Cheng Chi Kwan, who has not seen a lot of playing time recently.
Coming off the bench now, usually a staple of the starting lineup for Coach Su Hao Cheng. Cheng Chi Kwan wearing jersey number 1 on the floor.
A nice rejection there coming from Lenny Daniel.
So 22-16, a minute and 15 remaining. Yang against a taller Adam Su, but he gets a foul there. First foul on Adam Su. And for the Dreamers. They go to the post. Woo Shuk Pan against Aguilar now. Double team. And he puts it up and in.
And you notice how much deeper Ronnie Aguilar was able to get into that shaded area, because it wasn't Ryan Moss defending him.
Only the first basket for Aguilar. 1 out of 5 from the field, but Woo Shuk Pan scores the mid-range J.
Giving a good account of himself off the bench.
Back and forth we go here under a minute left. Aguilar with him miss inside. Gets the ball back. Tied up inside. A 3-second violation called on the Dreamers.
And the cardinal sin there for Ronnie Aguilar was bringing the ball below his waist. Smaller defenders, particularly Marcus Elliott, was able to grab at it. Usually for big men, you'd like to keep that ball about chest high, especially since he's 7'2".
Stan-Hardinger puts it on the floor. Stan-Hardinger attacks and gets fouled in the process. He heads to the line for 2 shots. Foul's going to be on Cheng Chi Kwan.
And a very similar first quarter here, Martin. In their last meeting, or in their first meeting in Taiwan, it was a 25-17 first quarter in favor of Hong Kong.
Again, the Dreamers were able to keep it close, at least in the halfway mark of the second period, before Hong Kong made that big run to end the first half.
And so far, Stan-Hardinger has been perfect from the line.
So Tan Jiang entering the floor for the first time, replacing Christian Stan-Hardinger. It's an 8-point lead for the home squad. The lob and the basket for Ronnie Aguilar.
That's a nice connection there between Yang and Ronnie Aguilar.
3 seconds remaining. Marcus Elliott, pull-up three. Backs it in!
What a shot from Marcus Elliott off the ball screen. Nice elevation and backs it from top of the key.
And beating the buzzer as well to give them the 9-point lead after the first, 29-20 in favor of the Hong Kong Eastern basketball team. When we return, it's going to be second quarter action for you guys right here in the Asean Basketball League.
Two lucky guys to take part in the half court challenge. So the first lucky guy is rank 0725. Rank 72, oh, the second one. Okay, rank 0452. Rank 啊。Okay, thank you so much. 唔該曬兩位嘉賓。Thank you.
Back inside Southorn Stadium and resuming our coverage here between Hong Kong Eastern basketball team and the Dreamers, the visiting squad. After the first, it's 29-20 in favor of the defending champs, and they've done an excellent job in the rebounding department. 14-7 in favor of Hong Kong, which is the primary reason why they're up right now by 9 points, 29-20. Also shooting on a much better clip, 52% from the field.
And they've also been able to run and force turnovers, 10 fast break points, 9 points off turnovers. So the keys that we talked about at the start of the game, Formosa has, or the Dreamers have not yet taken care of them.
Jump ball violation. Ball would go the other way. It's going to be Hong Kong basketball.
And if there's one thing you love about Tan Chi Hang, is that he's not afraid to mix it up with anybody on the floor, whether it's Lenny Daniel or any other world import.
Again, Marco, despite all the errors in the first period for the Dreamers, they're still able to keep in step. Only a 9-point lead for our defending champions here. In and out for Marcus Elliott there. Lenny Daniel on the move, fouled by Tan Chi Hang. So this is a small 5 for local players and one world import for Hong Kong to start the second period.
I can expect that Coach Edu Torres is going to try to buy as much time for Tyler Lamb, Stan Hardinger, and Ryan Moss on the bench. So he's going to try to keep this 5 with Marcus Elliott leading that 5 on the floor for as long as he can. And then he's going to come back with a stronger 5.
Dreamers should take advantage of this opportunity. Aguilar up and in, off the glass, rattles out. Uchukpan running for the ball, retrieves it and saves it to Elliott. Here's Marcus Elliott now. Chilai with a spin. Chia Lai with a fader. Marcoselliot with another opportunity for Hong Kong. Wu Chuk-pan counted in, denied by Ronnie Aguilar.
And that's what you expect from Ronnie Aguilar at 7-2. They should try to erase every attempt under the basket.
Only had one block against the Westport's Malaysia Dragons. He was also up against a relatively smaller big man in AJ West.
AJ West, Kwek Tan Yo, and Ivan Yo.
Yep. Hong Kong applying the press early in the second. Yang Tian-Yo. Against about 6'3", 6'4". Yang goes to Aguilar. He puts the ball on the floor. And up and in for Lenny Daniel.
That's a lucky break there for the Dreamers. I don't know why Yang is trying to draw Aguilar at the top of the key, setting the ball screens when he has the clear advantage against Wu Chuk-pan.
And a chance for the Dreamers to build on something here. Only down by 7. They kick it out. Chen Chi-Kwan fires. Too strong. Ao Chi Lai gets the rebound.
And Yang's got to play smarter than that. His front line has a much bigger advantage against the front line of Hong Kong, and he continues to ask for ball screens and trying to get that penetration when he should just go straight to the post.
And they have both Aguilar and Lenny Daniel on the floor. Here comes Tyler Lam. Very interestingly, replacing Marcoselliot.
And I think that is what Coach Su Hao Cheng is yelling at Yang from the bench as Ronnie Aguilar gets a breather.
Lee Cha-ching replacing Aguilar. 8:05 to go in our first half. Tyler Lam, the turnaround jumper, bounces out. Yang Tian-Yo pushing for the Dreamers. The ball fake. Chen Chi-Kwan post baseline. He sends it out. Lenny Daniel to Yang for 3. Gets it through.
Nice patience there. Nice extra pass coming from Lenny Daniel.
5-0 start for the Dreamers. Lam on the attack. Gets the basket and the foul.
And that just shows you the versatility of Tyler Lam. He can back down Yang from the post, or he can attack him from outside the three-point area. A nice shifty crossover and using his body to protect the ball.
That is the 7th point of Tyler Lam in the game. Christian Sandherdinger back on the floor.
And now with
to the free throw line, yes.
Now with Stan Hardinger back in the game, it's not going to be as easy to get the ball or to pound the ball inside the paint. Stan Hardinger, a much better defender. So these are some of the areas where the Dreamers have to really improve on, especially in terms of decision making and reading what the defense is giving them. And that's going to be another turnover. Turnover number 6. Turnover number 6 for the Dreamers.
An unforced one as well.
They average about 15 turnovers per game.
Here's Christian against Lenny Daniel. Off the glass and in. Ferocious move by Christian Sandherdinger.
And immediately off the bench is Ronnie Aguilar. So Coach Su Hao Cheng will not risk Sandherdinger getting hot here in the second.
Hong Kong countering with a 5-0 run off their own. Lenny Daniel double team now. 2 seconds to shoot. Wu Sung-wei, second triple of the game.
And that's a nice find there from Lenny Daniel, despite the double team, still finding the open man in Wu Sung-wei at the corner.
Tyler Lam tries to counter, in and out. Lee Ping-hung gets the rebound. Tang Chi-Han retrieves the ball though. Sandherdinger, nice fake. And a traveling violation in Christian Sandherdinger.
Getting called for steps there was Christian Sandherdinger.
But it's going to be very interesting to see, Marco, if Wu Sung-wei gets more minutes tonight. Last game he only played 14 minutes off the bench. but he went out and got 13 points for the Dreamers.
That's another turnover here for the Dreamers.
Turnover number 7.
And at this point, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. You could have cut the lead down to about 4 points.
About 4 minutes gone in our second period. Here's Stan Hardinger, rather. Nothing there. Bothered by the length of Aguilar, but still gets to basket. And a foul.
Could be the first personal foul on Ronnie Aguilar. So Stan Hardinger sticking with the play.
Again, they call him the blue-collar guy for this Hong Kong squad. Christian Stan Hardinger showing us why, showing us the hustle there.
We talked about how important it was for the Dreamers to dominate inside. 19 rebounds for Hong Kong. Dreamers have 10, so they've been out-rebounded here in the first half.
And he has been perfect from the line. 5 out of 5 now.
This is the daunted 1-2-2.
Lenny Daniel. Young. 9-point lead for Hong Kong. They go to Lenny Daniel again. A mismatch against Lau Chi Lai. They send it to the corner. Chai Wei with a 3-pointer.
And the 3-point shooting of the Dreamers is what is keeping them in this game. Now it's going to be a careless turnover there for Tyler Lamb. Does not happen that often. But this gives the Dreamers another chance to cut it down to a single possession game with a 3-point shot.
Visiting Dreamers, 1-7, hanging around with our defending champions. Ronnie Aguilar leaves it off to Chai Wei. A crossover for Chai. Back to Chen Yuhan, the floater. That's off. Tyler Lamb on the move. Lamb goes inside. Great cut with backdoor cut by Christian Stan Hardinger.
Another one of the things that he loves to do, move without the ball. That time, cutting from the weak side. Ronnie Aguilar did not see Stan Hardinger cutting on the baseline.
Hong Kong back on top by 8. Halfway done with our second quarter. TV timeout. It's Hong Kong Eastern, yes, with the 8-point lead, 39-31. We are live here in Southorn Stadium for your Asean Basketball League. And we're back inside Southorn Stadium, resuming our coverage of your Asean Basketball League. And Hong Kong Eastern basketball team up by 8 points, 39-31. And just unable to pull away against this visiting Dreamer squad.
And it seems, Martin, that Coach Edu Torres is giving more minutes to his role players right now. Adam Su, Lau Tzu Lai, trying to buy more time on the bench for guys like Marcus Edit and the rest of his starting 5. I think with the hopes of keeping them fresher towards the end game.
Here's Yang, he attacks. Denied by Adam Su. Back to Yang. 4 seconds to shoot. Yang goes baseline, flips it up. Shot clock violation on the Dreamers.
That's just too much dribbling there on the part of Yang Tianyo. As the point guard, he has to recognize how much time is left on the clock and immediately attack.
Adam Su now handing the leather. Su with a pull-up jumper, short, and Daniel gets the rebound. Daniel has had limited touches here. Goes all the way, nothing there. Steinhardiger stopped by Yang Tian-Yo. And a foul on the Dreamers. That's going to be foul, or team foul number 4 for them. So 1 away from penalty situation. Woo Sung Wei back on the floor, replacing Yang Tian-Yo.
And let's see who the point guard will be for the Dreamers. As there's no Lee Ping Hong and no Yang Tian-Yo on the floor. Well, normally their starting point guard is Cho Tzu-Hwa, but we were told that he is feeling under the weather.
Lam down the middle and off the glass and in for Ryan Moss.
And that's a nice assist there. Familiarity between Tyler Lam and Ryan Moss.
Second guy in double figures for Hong Kong. 10 points for Moss. Aguilar inside. Gets the foul on Christian Steinhardiger.
And Steinhardiger trying to tell Filipino referee Ricur Guaron how Ronnie Aguilar was trying to get him or beat him to that spot.
Trying to do a reenactment there as well. That's a clear foul on Christian. So Aguilar to the line. His first trip tonight.
So far 4 points for Aguilar on 2 out of 8 from the field.
Ronnie Aguilar, his second game here in the Asean Basketball League. Played in the NBA G League before coming to Asia and playing for the Dreamers.
And he's got a nice soft stroke there from the free throw line, 2 out of 2. And now you got the starting 5 of Hong Kong back on the floor for the close of this first half.
Fresh legs for Marcus Elliott. And right away he attacks, does not finish with the left hand. Daniel gets the rebound. 3.5 minutes remaining. Dreamers down by 8. To go to the post. Oh, nice pass. Chen Yuhan, though, could not finish.
And I think he was surprised that he was that wide open.
And with that foul.
And the referee is going to give Marcus Elliott a technical for throwing the basketball.
But that foul puts the Dreamers in penalty situation. And a technical foul on Marcus Elliott. So Elliott will first, or will shoot the 2 free throws first.
I think that's more of frustration there on the part of Marcus Elliott than anything else.
Well, I just entered the game before his, or after his long rest. Marcus Elliott tonight. That is his 5th point of the game. Struggling from the field. Only 1 out of 6. After a stellar game against the Saigon Heat.
Well, you can be sure that the Dreamers really plan to try to put a body or to try to defend the perimeter of Hong Kong exceptionally well, because we know that that is one of the strengths of Hong Kong, their perimeter scoring, especially in the form of Marcus Elliott, Tyler Lam, Lee Kee. So far, as you mentioned, Martin, Marcus Elliott with 4 points, Lee Kee has 2, and Tyler Lam has 8 points. So a respectable job here from the Dreamers containing the outside scoring of the Eastern.
And they're in a better position here going into halftime, only down by 8 with 3:17 left. Remember their first meeting, it was in the second quarter when Hong Kong pulled away.
And the score at halftime in that game was 60-41. So it just gives you an idea of the type of offensive explosion Hong Kong put in that second quarter. But right now, Hong Kong has only scored 13 points, while the Dreamers have scored 14 here in the second.
Yang Tianyo to the free throw line. Yang did score 6 points in their previous game against the Westports Malaysia Dragons. 3 out of 8 from the field. Did not take a free throw though. 5'7" Yang Tianyo, 1 out of 2 on that trip. 3:09 remaining in our first half. Timeout for Coach Edu Torres. Are up by 7 points. We're nearing halftime here in Southorn Stadium, right here in Asean Basketball League.
We just bring 2 guys, 2 lucky guys to take part in the half-court challenge today. But still, we got 2 guys like 0725. 0725. Guy over there and just come out, come down. And look for me to check whether you are a lucky guy or not. And then in half time, we are going to have the half-court challenge game.
Yeah, 基本都做到了，算力在这里。OK， 他这样子。
We're back inside Southorn Stadium, and a quick info on this game from our Titan of Stats, Mr. TK from Thailand. With 8 points in the first half, Tyler Lam now reaches 1,000 points in his Asean Basketball League career. He's the 11th player to be able to do that, and this is his, he's the 4th quickest to do it in 52 games, but the youngest at 26 years old.
And the next youngest to him was David Arnold of the Saigon Heat, who did it when he was 27. So congratulations to Tyler Lam, and you can be sure this is it's not yet the end of Tyler Lam's evening.
Again, this is a bounce-back game, and right on cue, Tyler Lam knocks it down from 3.
1,003 points for Tyler Lam.
45-35. And they force the turnover on the other end.
And the Dreamers have to be careful, because with 2.5 minutes remaining, Hong Kong can put up an explosion here.
It's a 10-point lead for the defending champs.
Trying to look to post Marcus Elliott.
Tyler Lam missing from 3. Ryan Moss gets the offensive board. Stan Hardinger down the middle to Lam, and he gets the lay-in.
And you see the unselfishness of Christian Stan Hardinger. Could have put up a shot right there, but instead drops it off to Tyler Lam. That is the 11th assist of Hong Kong Eastern.
5-0 personal run for Tyler Lam. They're up by 12, 47-35. Your ABL will be right back.
Outside.
Now let's play full screen situation. They got fouls and you can play different ball. Like for example, like.
Back here in the Asean Basketball League before the timeout. right after reaching 1,000 points in his ABL career. Tyler Lam goes for 5 more. A 5-0 personal run to put them up by 12 points, 47-35. 2 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in our first half. Dreamers.
And if you are the Dreamers, you have to realize that against the Hong Kong Eastern team, there are no opportunities to take bad shots because Hong Kong is not the type of team who will jack up or will have poor shot selection on several occasions. They normally execute very well and take good quality shots, as that is going to be a delay of game for Ronnie Aguilar, who tapped the ball to the baseline after his basket.
And that was a great decision there from the Dreamers right off the timeout to go to Ronnie Aguilar right away. Going straight to the basket there. Icha Ching replacing Lenny Daniel.
So unlike some teams who will take bad shots from time to time, that does not happen very often for Hong Kong Eastern.
Stan Hardinger from mid-range gets it through.
Stan Hardinger very consistent. 6 out of 10 right now, 60% from the field.
And a pass even too high for Aguilar to catch.
And that's going to be another turnover for the Dreamers. That is turnover number 10. And you know, just like that, Stan Hardinger already with 17 points here in the first half.
Marcus Elliott to Stan Hardinger. Christian stops. The one-handed shot does not go. Aguilar with the rebound. Woo Sung Wei goes to Yang. They go to Lenny Daniel. Daniel takes it strong. And a foul in the finish for Lenny Daniel.
And that's a good quick move there for Lenny Daniel. So he had the slower defender. Quick jab step, attacks the baseline. And there's very little that Tan Chi Han can do against the Lenny Daniel.
Lenny Daniel leading the way for the Dreamers tonight with 13 points. Chai Wei replacing Woo Sung Wei. So a bonus coming now for Lenny Daniel. They're down by 10 points, unable to complete the three-point play, but Aguilar is too tall.
And he has some words to say to Stan Hardinger, who just laughs it off.
Elliott. Tyler Lam. Nothing there. Tang Chi Han back outside to Lam. This time he takes it in with the left hand over Aguilar.
Miscommunication on defense there for the Dreamers, scrambling. And they actually dodged the bullet because Tyler Lam was wide open for that three-point shot.
Back to a 10-point game. Half minute remaining, 13 seconds to shoot for the Dreamers.
And Stan Hardinger has really gotten under the skin of Ronnie Aguilar, who gives it that left elbow to the head.
This is a frustration foul for Ronnie Aguilar.
Stan Hardinger makes a living out of those small grabs that the referee does not see. But the referee definitely saw the retaliation there from Aguilar.
So 2 shots and the possession for Hong Kong Eastern basketball team. Chance to pull away here before the first half ends. But again, you see the improvement at the free throw line for Christian Stan Hardinger tonight. 6 out of 6. Make that 7 out of 7 for the Filipino German, to the tune of 19 points in the first half. Timeout here for Coach Edu Torres. They have the 12-point lead and the possession with 28 seconds to go here in the first half. Your ABL. We'll be right back.
instead of being stylish, you use this way. Okay, hold on.
他们会从这边，可能会从这边开始发动，或者是拖到这边、这边、这边。Blue.
Back inside Southorn Stadium, and 28 seconds away from our halftime break. Hong Kong Eastern basketball team with possession, because in the previous possession, unsportsmanlike foul called on Ronnie Aguilar.
That is his second personal foul. So from being outscored 14-13 towards the halfway point of the second quarter, Hong Kong has now outscored the Dreamers 24-21.
Taralam will set the table now for Hong Kong.
And expect a ball screen from Stan Hardinger with probably about 10 seconds to go.
3-second difference between the shot and game clock. Taralam. Now Aguilar on him on the switch. Oh, Marcus said it skying high. Just unable to get the putback. Aguilar with 2 seconds up. Chen Yuhan from the baseline.
That's a nice shot there. Good presence of mind. Aguilar finding Chen Yuhan on the baseline, who calmly knocks down the 15-footer.
And at the half, it's a defending champions, the home team, with a 10-point lead, 53-43, making a late push to end our first half. This is our last play. Aguilar sending it to the wide open Chen Yuhan, who knocked down the mid-range baseline jumper. They're down by 10 points, 53-43. Hong Kong Eastern ahead. When we come back, first half highlights of this game, and of course, stats and analysis when we come back here in the Asean Basketball League season number 8.
徐教练，我们听说你们的新请了一个外援是 Ronnie， 你现在觉得他暂时的表现怎么样？融入度还可以吗？
他的一个职业的精神非常的好。那他也是第一次来到亚洲这样子的一个联盟。那他基本上原本都是在美国本土联盟。那所以他来到亚洲这个联盟的时候，他会遇到很多在外面职业联盟打了很多老江湖。所以呢，他需要能够适应更多的强度，然后去身体碰撞，然后更多的一些经验，然后可以帮助我们球队更多。
好。另外就是上半场我们看到球队的失误比较多，那下半场你们会做一些什么样的就是改善呢？可以。
我们当然知道东方是一支非常强悍的一个球队，然后不管是在进攻、防守上面都会带给我们极大的一个威胁。所以在下半场的时候，我们希望能够选手慢慢能够适应到这样子的一个强度，然后把失误率给降低，不管在处理球上面，或者是跟队友接应上面，都能够保持一贯的一个水准。对，
好，谢谢，谢谢。
好啦，喺中場休息嘅時間咧，我哋同樣會有表演喎。請大家以熱烈掌聲歡迎嚟自中國內地同埋台灣地區嘅明星健身教練們，為我哋帶嚟 Bossa 同埋 Latino Dance 呢一兩個非常之流行同埋熱門嘅舞蹈。 OK，唔該晒 ，thank you。好啦，喺呢個時間咧，我哋即將就會進行一啲即中嘅挑戰啦，中長射籃嘅挑戰㗎嚇。咁啱啱咧，我哋現場抽出咗兩位嘅幸運兒啦，同埋喺較早前咧，其實喺 Eagle Lifestyle 嘅 Facebook page 嗰度咧，就預先啊已經有兩位嘅幸運兒咧，就已經
All right, back inside Southorn Stadium here at the half. Defending champs Hong Kong Eastern coming off their first off the season in their bounce-back game. They're up by 10 points over the visiting Dreamers. Martin Rivera with Marco Benitez here breaking the game down for you guys.
And some of the things we talked about at the start of the ball game, some of the areas the Dreamers really have to work on. Number one is rebounding. They're being out-rebounded 25 to 15. The other thing is taking care of the basketball. 10 turnovers for the Dreamers already, which resulted in 16 points off turnovers for the Hong Kong Eastern squad. It's a 16-5 advantage for Hong Kong in terms of turnover points. Points-wise, Tyler Lamb has started out really strong, bouncing back from his previous game. 15 points already for Lamb. Stan Hardinger has 19. Ryan Moss himself has 10 points, while Marcos Elliott has 7 rebounds and 6 assists to his name. But for the Dreamers, it's Lenny Daniels leading the way with 13 points, and Ronnie Aguilar has 10 points. But he's really things have gotten chippy between him and Christian Stan Hardinger. So he's going to have to compose himself and come back stronger and more composed in the second half.
And Ronnie Aguilar getting an unsportsmanlike foul because of his frustrations against Christian Stan Hardinger. He does have 10 points, like you mentioned, Marco. 4 out of 10 from the field, 9 rebounds, closing in on a double-double here in the first half. But great effort for the defending champs in making a statement here at home, especially coming off a tough loss against the Saigon Heat. And they're up by 10 points right now, 53 to 43. When we return, we're going to give you second half action of this game. Again, you guys are watching the Asean Basketball League.
Okay, you just not to step on the up. Fine. Okay, you ready? Eagle Lifestyle 嘅創辦人陳海榮先生為我哋頒發咧就係紀念品嘅喎，唔該晒你。好啦，麻煩4位嘅朋友仔可以咧就係中間位置咯，好唔好？或者係呢度。好啦，麻煩。OK， 好，麻煩陳生可以為4位嘅朋友仔頒獎。
Hi, Coach. The team leads quite a lot in the first half. If the team continue to perform so good and have a great lead in the second half, will you consider to arrange more young local players to play more?
You know, at this time, at this moment, 10 points is nothing. We don't feel satisfied. We don't feel like the game is comfortable. It's been a tough first half. So we just have to keep building up the game. And to me, is the young guys or old guys, local or imports, that doesn't make that difference. For me, all the players are the same, and everybody can play. 9 players were in the rotation in the first half. Let's see what happened in the second. But they all belong to the same team. We play like a team.
And it's almost half season now. Do you have any improvement to make in the second half season, like changing the input?
No, I'm not thinking about that right now. We just have to try to win this game, and let's see what the future brings us. But I don't like think about, are we gonna change somebody or import locals? No. Let's see what happens.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
搭遊戲啦，咁啊抽完之後叫咗你出嚟咧，就可以去到咧就係嗰個 board 嗰度咧，即係叫台左手邊嗰個 board 嗰度咧，就我哋有個工作人員問你啲簡單嘅問題，只要回答到嘅話咧，答啱嘅話就可以獲得獎勵㗎啦嚇。咁啊，所以其他朋友仔咧都唔好咁快灰心，同埋咧就唔好咁快擒高雙飛啦。
And we're back inside Southorn Stadium, continuing our coverage here of the Asean Basketball League. Moments away from the start of this second half between Hong Kong Eastern basketball team and the visiting Dreamers. Hong Kong up by 10 points, 53-43. And if you're the Dreamers and Coach Shu Hao Cheng, Marco, you're doing a better job. And in your first matchup, compared to your first matchup against Hong Kong, what do you expect now? What kinds of adjustments do you expect now from Coach Shu Hao Cheng come second half?
Well, I think on the defensive end, they're going to have to do a better job covering Tyler Lam and Marcus Elliott, because that's where the offense of Hong Kong emanates from. On their offensive end, hopefully they'll try to get Lenny Daniel and Ronnie Aguilar really more involved. Try to feed off Ronnie Aguilar in the post. See how the defense of Hong Kong reacts. He's shown us that he's been able to kick it out to the three-point shooter or hit a cutting Lenny Daniel from top of the key. So let's see how that works out for them. But number one is they're going to really have to take care of the basketball and avoid committing careless turnovers against the pressure defense of Hong Kong, because that has resulted in a lot of easy baskets for Hong Kong Eastern.
Lenny Daniel and Ronnie Aguilar, the two players in double figures for the Dreamers. 13 for Lenny Daniel and 10 points for Ronnie Aguilar. Pretty similar to their performance against the Westport's Malaysia Dragons. They were also the only two players in double figures, only 2 of 3 rather, because Woo Sung Wei was also in double figures with 13 points off the bench, but Lenny had 20 and Ronnie Aguilar had 22. And we start the second half here, Hong Kong Eastern riding a 10-point lead.
And I think overall, Martin, they're just really going to have to play smarter against a veteran squad like Hong Kong. Better shot selection, better execution on offense. Really be more patient.
Lenny Daniel puts it on the floor, shoots over Christian Stan Hardinger, and bounces out. Marcus Elliott grabs the rebound.
And you see how Ryan Moss boxes out Ronnie Aguilar on that sequence.
Marcus Elliott still struggling from the field now, 1 out of 7. Starting off a miss, or with a miss in the second half. Chen Yuhan saves it to Yang. Yang back to Chen Yuhan. 13 seconds to shoot for the Dreamers. They go to Aguilar, shooting the jumper over Moss. Too strong, it's Lam getting the rebound there. Tyler Lam sends it cross court to Marcus Elliott.
Elliott has not really taken a lot of shots. That's only his 7th attempt from the field.
And foul given up by Lee Kee to prevent that easy deuce for Lenny Daniel. So Marcus Elliott starting with 2 misses here in the third period for a total of 1 out of 8 tonight. He does have 8 rebounds and 6 dimes to his name.
And you get the sense that here in the second half, Marcus Elliott is going to try to be more aggressive offensively, try to get his points total up. And you know, this guy averages about 18 points per game.
And he is coming off a 34-point performance.
Sorry, missed there. Lenny Daniel.
And he hears it from the crowd in Southorn Stadium.
That was a nice drop-off there. We don't see Lenny Daniel missing that too often. Watch him try to get it back on the other end.
There's too much force in that dunk. Tyler Lam sets his feet, misses the 3. Aguilar gets the board and gets the double-double here. Ronnie Aguilar with 10 points and 10 rebounds in the game. Yang Tianyou still on the floor. He drives, he sends it out. Chen Yuhan moves closer, knocks down the jumper.
Nice patience coming from Chen Yuhan. Not really a great three-point shooter, but a very efficient mid-range jumper.
That brings the lead back to single digits here.
And you see the aggressiveness of Marcus Elliott, just patiently probing through the defense, trying to find a seam. That time drawing the foul. 13 foul now for the Dreamers.
Not even 2 minutes gone here in the third. Tyler Lam on the reverse. Great play executed there by Hong Kong.
And Lee Kee has been another player for Hong Kong who has been quiet, just 2 points. At that time getting the assist. That is his 4th assist of the game.
55-45, Yang Tianyou lobs it to Aguilar. Aguilar, the short hook doesn't go. Marcus Elliott on the move. Elliott, the fancy pass to Moss, and he finishes.
Almost picked off actually by Yang Tian-Yo. He guessed right, but just not able to pick it off and complete the steal.
And Hong Kong tying their biggest lead off the game at 12 points. Here's Yang Tian-Yo, tries to answer in and out. Christian Sandhardinger with the emphatic rebound there. Elliott could not save it. Goes out of bounds. Ball back to the Dreamers. Substitution here.
And that's a lucky break there for the Dreamers once again. Down by 12 points. Could have been down by 14 or even 15.
So Chen Yuhan and Chai Wei will go to the bench. Lee Ping Hung and Woo Sung Wei enters for the Dreamers.
And that's a foul. Clear foul there on Ryan Moss. Pushing off against Ronnie Aguilar. Getting too aggressive. Fighting for post position.
Third personal foul on Ryan Moss, who has been solid for Hong Kong tonight. 12 points and 5 boards. And solid defensively as well against Ronnie Aguilar. Here's Aguilar now forcing his way, and another defensive stop there by Ryan Moss.
And that's the better defensive sequence there for Ryan Moss, just absorbing the contact. And you see how effective he can be as long as he stays out of foul trouble. As Tyler Lamb breaking ankles.
Just breaking the ankles of Woo Sung Wei right there. Tyler Lamb.
20 points in the game right now for Tyler Lamb.
Leading the way now for Hong Kong, and a foul on Lee Ki. Third personal foul on Lee.
The very pesky guards of the Dreamers have really kept Lee Ki on his toes. Not gotten off offensively.
Here's Aguilar now. He spins. The fader does not go. Aguilar struggling to begin our second half. Woo Sung Wei almost getting the steal, but Hong Kong will maintain possession.
And Ryan Moss has to be careful he does not pick up his fourth personal. That time got away with a little push against Aguilar.
Marcus Elliott backing down against Lee Ping Hung. And a foul on Lee.
And you see how veteran team Hong Kong is. That time recognizing the mismatch on Lee Ping Hung against Marcus Elliott. Immediately going to Marcus Elliott in the post. And another quick assist from Marcus Elliott. That is assist number 8.
That's back to the inbounder, Tyler Lamb, for the easy two inside. 17-point lead for Hong Kong. Back to our coverage here, Hong Kong Eastern with the biggest lead of the game, 17 points, 62-45. And the Dreamers slowly falling apart here in the second period. And we mentioned them breaking down, you know, at some point in basketball game, and it looks like it's coming here in the third.
Coaching staff of the Dreamers arguing that they're not getting the benefit of the call on their end of the floor, while Marcus Elliott is getting it on his end, being defended by Lee Ping-hung.
That's why they were arguing with the referees earlier. Then Daniel goes inside. Daniel to Lee Ping-hung.
And you know, they're not helping themselves by dribbling the ball for about 10 seconds on the perimeter and then trying to bail themselves out under the basket.
Another turnover for the visiting Dreamers. That is turnover number 11 for them.
And I think the better play would have been to try to go to Lenny Daniel and Ronnie Aguilar in the post once again and force the referees to make the call.
Go to the other side. Marcus Elliott to Tyler Lam. Fakes the three. Against a smaller Woo Sung Wei now. Tyler Lam knocks down the jumper at 22 points for Tyler Lam.
And Tyler Lam is just getting whatever look he wants to get against Woo Sung Wei. Just shaking and baking there.
But a push against Tyler Lam on the other end. Or it's going to be against Christian Steinhardinger.
And that's only the first personal foul on Christian Steinhardinger. He's actually done an amazing job staying out of foul trouble, especially with all the contact happening inside the paint.
Hong Kong riding an 11-2 run to begin our second half. And another miscue on the Dreamers.
And it's mistakes like those that are really putting the Dreamers in a bigger hole.
19-point advantage for Hong Kong, with Tyler Lam leading the surge here in the third period. 7 points for him. Ryan Moss at the post, going around Aguilar, just unable to hit. Woo Sung Wei ahead of the pack. The easy lay-in.
That's a great outlet pass there, coming from Ronnie Aguilar, and a way to field it from Woo Sung Wei.
Woo Sung Wei now with 9 points. First basket in the second half for him. And a foul on Ronnie Aguilar. Forced to foul the attacking Marcus Elliott.
That's an easy call there from the referee. And Marcus Elliott just weaving his way through the defense, finding the seam.
So 2 free throws now coming for the reigning world import MVP, Marcus Elliott. 2 out of 4 before that free throw, now 3 out of 5. So 6 points, 7 or 9 rebounds and 8 assists for Marcus Elliott tonight. Make that 8 points already.
And full court pressure right now for Hong Kong Eastern.
Back to a 19-point game, and to get the steal here. Great pickoff by Tyler Lam. All day to shoot. Was unable to hit. Aguilar with a spin. He gets the shot, no good. Aguilar gets a second try, and he gets the basket there.
Quick on the attack on the other end is Hong Kong, but Marcus Elliott will set it up.
4.5 minutes remaining in our third period. Marcus Elliott overshoots the three. Woo Sung Wei picks up the ball and intercepted by Marcus Elliott on the other end. Elliott on the move, the handoff to Steinhardinger, nothing there. Back on the other end, 2-on-1. Lee lobs it up, Aguilar gets fouled.
That's actually poor spacing on the fast break. That was a 2-on-1, and Lee Ping-hung was going straight at Ronnie Aguilar.
See that one more time. 7-2, Ronnie Aguilar.
And looks like Lee Ki had a case to argue right there. But if you're Lee Ping-hung and you're running the fast break, you're making space for your big man to make the defense react, make the defense have to defend 2 people instead of just staying in the middle of the lane.
Just misread the situation there, talking about Lee Ping-hung and Lee Ki with 4 personal fouls.
And the crowd not appreciating that call.
Not much contact on the play, though.
As Ronnie Aguilar silences the crowd.
Marcus Elliott with Chen Yuhan on him and scores on the step back Jay.
That's just a strong move there from Marcus Elliott, beating Chen Yuhan on the dribble and then the step back.
And a volleyball block by Ryan Moss. They get the ball back. Aguilar fouled again inside the painted area. Can be on Lau Chi Lai. Here's the attack and the block from Ryan Moss.
And this is when the Dreamers have to hold it together. Can't afford to keep arguing with the referee and pick up a technical. What they've got to do is they've got to make stops and they've got to get good shot selection on their end of the floor. They're actually doing a better job not settling for outside shots and trying to pound the ball into Ronnie Aguilar or Lenny Daniel.
But if you're Ronnie Aguilar, you got to capitalize on those free throws. 2 misses on that trip, and this is still a 17-point game. Marcus Elliott goes to Ryan Moss down the middle behind the back.
Almost another connection there between Tyler Lamb and Christian Stan Hardinger.
11 seconds to shoot for Hong Kong. Lamb to Elliott. 3.5 minutes remaining in our third. Stan Hardinger, 4-3 from the left wing, too strong. Moss with the offensive board. Lamb with a great cut on the other side, and he gets fouled.
And you see, if you're the Dreamers, you can't allow Ryan Moss to get those offensive rebounds because that gives them second chance opportunities. 4 second chance points for the Dreamers, while Hong Kong already has 12 second chance points.
Tyler Lamb to the line. Has scored 9 points, make that 10 points here in the third period for a total of 25 points. And is perfect 2 out of 2 from the line. 2 out of 3 now. Yang Tianyao retrieving the basketball. 18-point lead. Daniel takes it strong. Denied again by Ryan Moss. Elliott leaves it off to Christian Stan Hardinger for the lay-in.
4-on-2 fast break there from Hong Kong Eastern. Lenny Daniel and Ronnie Aguilar not getting back in transition.
Hong Kong now with the biggest lead of the game. 20 points. Aguilar to the corner. Chen Yuhan knocks down the 3.
That's something the Dreamers really needed. Just try to stifle the momentum of Hong Kong with 2.5 remaining here in the third.
Marcus Elliott now. On the pull-up jumper, somehow went in for Marcus Elliott.
And Marcus Elliott just so shifty.
And Young falling down. 3-on-1 Elliott. Leaves it off Stan Hardinger with a basket.
And Lenny Daniel having no chance on that fast break against two Heritage imports and a World Import MVP.
Basket after basket for our defending champions as they take the 21-point advantage. Woo Sung Wei though.
But you have to make stops on the defensive end of the floor.
Third triple of the night for Wu. Moss to Lamb. Difficult shot for Tyler Lamb. Aguilar gets it to Yang. Back to Wu. Attempts another 3 and knocks down another triple there. 4th of the night for Woo Sung Wei.
That's their best shooter on the floor. Has not yet missed from the 3-point area.
Marcus Elliott with a cold answer on the other side.
And you're just trading baskets, trading blows here. I guess one of the best offensive teams in the league.
Woo Sung Wei in double figures for the 4th straight game for the Dreamers. Chen Yuhan down the middle, no good. Stan Hardinger looking for Lamb, hands it off. 18-point advantage. Under a minute left in our third quarter. Lam to the hoop. Nice drop off. And again, Ryan Moss with an easy deuce.
And you get the sense, Martin, that the Dreamers really struggling on their end of the floor, trying to score, while everything has been easy for Hong Kong, just penetrating and dropping it off to an open teammate.
Aguilar from the baseline, too strong now. Marcus Elliott gets the board.
And he's going to take the last shot of this quarter.
Hong Kong Eastern in cruise control in the third period. Leading it by 20 points now, and Stan Hardinger too strong on the three. That marks the end of our third quarter inside Southorn Stadium. Home team, defending champions, Hong Kong Eastern basketball team, with the biggest lead of the game. Or second biggest lead, rather, at 20 points, 80-60. And we return fourth and deciding period of this game. You guys are watching the Asean Basketball League. We welcome you back to our coverage inside Southorn Stadium, Wan Chai, Hong Kong, for this live coverage of your Asean Basketball League. After 3 quarters of play, the defending champions Hong Kong Eastern basketball team up by 20 points over the visiting Dreamers. And Hong Kong pulled away in that third quarter, outscoring the Dreamers 27-17 Marco.
And one of the unsung heroes here for Hong Kong Eastern is Ryan Moss. As you saw the stats on your screen, he's 14 points, 7 of 9 from the field, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 blocks. And this is the type of opponent where Ryan Moss can thrive. They have another big man in Ronnie Aguilar, who does not really run the floor well. So Ryan Moss, because of his strength, can really stay toe-to-toe against the opposing big man, as long as he doesn't get into foul trouble.
Ryan Moss doing a great job in preserving himself in the contest. Only 3 personal fouls. Chen Yu-han with a miscue there. Adam Hsu retrieves the basketball, but a traveling violation on Su.
And if you watch Ryan Moss defend Ronnie Aguilar on the post, his work starts way before the ball goes to the side of Ronnie Aguilar. He is pushing and shoving and preventing Aguilar from getting into post position. And you see right now Aguilar already out of his comfort zone, tries to back Ryan Moss down.
And right on cue, Margo, that forces another tough shot out of Ronnie Aguilar.
That's excellent defense from Ryan Moss.
Chulai though could not convert on the reverse. Here's Lenny Daniel on the move. 3-on-1. Daniel attacks 2 defenders and draws the foul.
And that's what Lenny Daniel has to do. He has a clear advantage, quickness-wise, athleticism-wise, against either Tan Chi Hang or Ryan Moss. There's a shove coming from Tan Chi Hang.
And Daniel to the line for 2 shots. Didn't score in our 3rd quarter. 13 points in the game. Shooting 6 out of 12 from the field though. 7 rebounds and 4 dimes for Lenny Daniel. Lee Ping-hung subbing out Woo Sung-wei, who has been the bright spot for the Dreamers tonight. Perfect from the field. 15 points, 5 out of 5, 4 out of 4 from Rainbow Country is Woo Sung-wei. Lenny Daniel could not convert on the first free throw.
And the Dreamers really have to find other players to score, as Ronnie Aguilar and Ryan Moss getting into it.
Ryan Moss fired up. It's our Singaporean referee. Gets between Aguilar and Ryan Moss.
And Coach Edu Torres is also on the floor.
So first it was Christian Stan Hardinger and Ronnie Aguilar. Now it's Ryan Moss against Aguilar.
Ryan Moss did not appreciate the takedown as Aguilar was falling out of bounds, but Aguilar as well did not appreciate how Ryan Moss was boxing him out.
Let's see what the call will be here. So that's 2 fouls, a technical and a holding foul on Ronnie Aguilar to give him 5 fouls.
And that's what we're talking about. If you're Ronnie Aguilar, you had to play this really smart. He gets called for a holding foul and then gets called for a technical for retaliating against Ryan Moss. And a technical counts as a personal foul.
So an unfortunate sequence there for the Dreamers. Their big guy, Ronnie Aguilar, fouling out with 2 fouls in 1 play.
And they're
If this
still trying
time
to
he fouls
clarify
out,
it.
yes. Ronnie Aguilar fouls out with 14 points and 16 rebounds with 2 denials.
That's going to be a big blow here for the Dreamers. Remember, you only have 3 players in double figures in scoring for the Dreamers, and Aguilar is one of them. Lenny Daniel has 13, Aguilar has 14, and it's Woo Sung-wei, the leading scorer for the Dreamers with 15 points.
Tough break for the Dreamers. They try to make a push here in the 4th period. So it's going to be Lee Cha-ching replacing Ronnie Aguilar, number 15. And play resumes inside Southorn Stadium. Approaching a minute gone in our 4th and deciding period. Either team has scored here. Lee Ki, the bounce pass picked off. Chen Yuhan could not pick up the basketball, though Adam Su recovers. They go to the corner. Lee Ki leaves it to Tan Chi Hang, and a hard foul given up by Lee Cha-ching.
And Tan Chi Hang has been bouncing around bodies practically all evening long. But Lee Ki had an open lane on the baseline, deciding to drop it off to Tan Chi Hang, who drew the foul against Lee Cha-ching.
And that's the 13th foul on the Dreamers. quick second motion there from Lee Cha-ching. There's Lee Ki, fakes the three, goes back out. Kang Chi-hang, the extra pass to Su. Too strong on the three. Chen pushing for the Dreamers. They go to the corner.
Quick foul on Lao Tzu Lai there. Now let's see Martin if the Dreamers, especially with this lineup on the floor for Hong Kong Eastern, can try to mount a quick run with 8:29 remaining. All it takes is a couple of three-point shots, a stop. Lead is down to about 14. If they can cut it down to below 10 points or to about 10 points with about 5 minutes left in the fourth, then they'd still be in striking distance.
You have at least 3 players here who can shoot from the outside. Lee Ping-hung, Woo Sung-wei, and Cheng Chi Kwan. And they got the steal on the other side. Daniel now on the move to Cheng Chi Kwan. Denied again by Ryan Moss. And the putback is there, though, for Lenny Daniel.
At that time, Lenny Daniel taking advantage of the 2-on-1 situation. Gives it up to Cheng Chi Kwan, who takes it strong. Ryan Moss challenges, and Lenny Daniel able to recover and go up hard to pick up the foul and the basket.
How about Ryan Moss tonight? 14.7 rebounds and 5 blocks.
And right now, he is the only legit big on the floor.
And the only world import on the floor as well for Hong Kong. Here's Adam Su. Gets it to Lao Tzu Lai. 8 minutes remaining in our fourth period. They will reset here. Adam Su puts it on the floor. On the step back. In and out, though, for Adam Su. Daniel loses the ball. 3-on-3. Su gets the foul on Lenny Daniel.
And that's going to be the 4th personal as well for Lenny Daniel, who acknowledges his mistake on that turnover.
Lenny Daniel has had his struggles with the Dreamers here in the second half. Only 2 points. After the break, Marcus Elliott back on the floor for Hong Kong. So it's Adam Su with 2 shots.
And we talked about forcing turnovers as being one of the keys for the Hong Kong Eastern squad. They forced the Dreamers to 17 turnovers in this game and have scored 20 points off turnovers. So the Dreamers not able to make any headway as Marcus Elliott is now back on the floor.
And they're unable to get the rebound there as well. Here's Adam Su. No good. Lee Ping-hung pushing the ball. Lee Ping-hung out of control. Woo Sung-wei now on top. Lee fakes the handoff. And a foul on Adam Su.
And that's actually a nice, smart move on the part of Lee Cha-ching.
Tyler Lam back on the floor replacing Adam Su. Lee Cha-ching heads to the line for 2 shots. Dreamers down by 18, 7 and 11 remaining in our fourth period. That bounces in for Lee Cha-ching. Lee playing 11 minutes today. That's his first point. Here's Marcus Elliott now. Lee goes 1 out of 2. Elliott against Lee Ping-hung. And it's too aggressive there. Was a Lee Ping-hung called for the foul.
That's going to be the 3rd team foul of the Dreamers, so not yet in the penalty. Oh yeah, sorry, they check that. They are in the penalty. So that's going to be 2 free throws once again for Marcus Elliott.
Both teams in the penalty right now. 7 minutes remaining in our fourth period. Marcus Elliott messing around and getting a triple-double tonight His second straight of the season. 14 points, make that 15. Or 15 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists for Marcus Elliott.
And you see just how dangerous this Hong Kong squad is once their starting five is clicking. We got Tyler Lamb with 25 points, Elliott with a triple-double, Ryan Moss at 14, and Stan Hardinger with 23.
Great move there for Lee Ping Hung. But this season, Marco, we're seeing a different version of Marcus Elliott. More of a facilitator this year. Last year, he averaged about 25 points a game with less dimes. Now only 18 points per game, but his rebounding and assist numbers are up this season. Lee Ping Hung down the middle, and this time Lenny Daniel gets the jam to go.
And that's going to force Coach Edu Torres to call a timeout as the lead is down to 14.
67-81 Eastern. On top by 14, 6:22 remaining in our fourth period. Back inside Southorn Stadium, and with two straight highlight plays before our timeout, momentum slowly shifting to the Dreamers' side. They're only down by 14 points after being down by as many as 20 to begin the fourth period, outscoring Hong Kong so far 7-1 to begin our deciding quarter.
Coach Edu Torres just wants to refocus his squad on the task at hand. Let's see if they try to set up Lee Kee, who has only had 2 points in the game so far.
And possession will remain with Hong Kong. 15 seconds on the clock. We see Christian Stan Hardinger now looking to come in for Ryan Moss. Out see Lai. Out see Lai remains on the floor. And it's Chen Yuan replacing Lee Cha-ching for the Dreamers. So Lenny Daniel is going to be the center now for the visiting squad.
And the referee is explaining to the coach of Formosa. They had to send him in, but Lee Cha-ching stays on the bench.
Marcus Elliott attacks. Strong move all the way to the hoop. Lee Ping Hung tries to counter. And a miscue there between Woo Sung Wei and Lee Ping Hung. Another turnover.
Turnover number 18, if I'm not mistaken. And just shot themselves in the foot as you give Hong Kong a chance to build on this lead once again. Make it an 18-point or a 19-point lead.
8 turnovers now in the second half for the Dreamers. Just unable to capitalize on the opportunities presented earlier. And Lee Kee with a difficult flip shot.
A nice play call there for Hong Kong to get Lee Kee involved in the scoring. You're going to need Lee Kee, especially down the stretch, to have his confidence with him.
So off the timeout, Hong Kong on a 4-0 run. Lenny to the corner. Woo Sung Wei unable to handle that pass. Lee Kee on the move to Elliott with a left hand.
And another turnover by the Dreamers, leading to another fast break for Hong Kong Eastern.
Lead is back up to 20, 87-67. Almost halfway done in our fourth period. Your ABL will be right back.
Mismatch 的时候他就会当人。
And back inside Southorn Stadium, and it's been the same problem all season long for the visiting Dreamers, unable to sustain their offensive runs. They were able to cut it to 14 points earlier, but now, courtesy of that 6-0 run off the timeout as well for Hong Kong, they're back up by 20 points.
And credit to the Dreamers, they have been able to put in stretches where they play well, execute well on both ends of the floor. It's just a matter of putting it all together and playing consistently for 40 minutes. And I think it's very crucial for them that they get support from the local crew. Not just Woo Sung Wei, he's the only player in double figures when it comes to the locals.
Penny Daniel getting the basket there. Marcus Elliott now on the move. Elliott with a missed jam.
Just a little too far for the takeoff from Marcus Elliott.
Here's that jam earlier. Back the hops there for the reigning world import MVP, Chen Yuhan. It's off. Lam on the move. Throws the ball away. So the Dreamers will get the basketball back.
And this is pretty much garbage time for the starting five of Hong Kong Eastern.
Chen Chi Kwan off the inbound, unable to hit. San Hardinger with the rebound. And then Daniel got hit in the face.
It looks like it was a wayward hand off that rebounding sequence from Stan Hardinger, although not deliberate. And Coach Edu Torres is going to send in Woo Shuk Pan. And if it goes down to about 3.5 minutes, expect Coach Edu Torres to relieve his starters already. Try to avoid getting them into injury. Here's that sequence. That left arm of Stan Hardinger.
And Daniel getting caught on a backhand there. Stan Hardinger, the mid-range jumper. It's short. Taranam gets the board. 4 and 10 remaining in the fourth period. Taranam posting up on Yang. Stan Hardinger, the spin, the shot, the basket is off, but Woo Shuk Pan right there on the follow.
And that's a nice basket for Woo Shuk Pan, continuing to work hard despite the big lead.
Chen Yuhan with a miss. 3:45 remaining. Elliott to Woo Shuk Pan on the roll, back-to-back hits for Woo Shuk Pan.
And Marcus Elliott just getting his teammates involved right now. Impressive win here for the Eastern squad. Dreamers were able to hang in the game for an entire half, but it was that third quarter explosion once again. That 27-17 third quarter.
Pretty similar to their first encounter in Changhua County Stadium. Our final score in their first matchup was 120-97. With the locals getting a lot of burn in the fourth period.
And with 3:05 remaining, Coach Edu Torres also already starting to send in the locals. Ip Jun Kim, 0-0, checking into the game for Tyler Lam, who exits with 25 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, and 3 turnovers.
A good bounce-back game for Tyler Lam after struggling against the Saigon Heat. Again, he only had 11 points in that game. Shot 4 out of 16 from the field. Now he shot a very efficient 10 out of 20 for 50%. And Stan Hardinger on the entry pass gets the steal and got fouled in the process.
The players have to remember, the moment you don't make a play for the ball, especially in transition, that's an automatic unsportsmanlike foul. So Stan Hardinger is going to go to the line for 2 free throws. Here's that sequence. Yang Tianyo not making a play for the ball, even though there's no intention to hurt.
So 2 free throws and the possession for Hong Kong. And speaking of bouncing back, Christian Stan Hardinger, aside from scoring 24 points and pulling down 10 rebounds, he's also perfect from the line, 9 out of 9.
And I think for him, that would be the bigger accomplishment.
Yep.
That perfect outing from the line, making good adjustments to that free throw stroke. And Hong Kong Eastern averages about 96 points per game, right up there at 93.
Formosa also closing in on their average of 77 points per game. Wu to Lee. Lee on the move. Lee with a spin. The left-handed finishes off. Elliott ahead to Ip Chun Kit. He stops and waits for his teammates. Back to Elliott outside. Elliott double team. They go inside. Pass picked off by Barrett. Charles Barrett in transition. Draws the foul and the basket.
And you know, Charles Barrett, in about a minute of play last game against the Dragons, was also able to hit a 3-point shot.
Charles Barrett not getting enough action though for the Dreamers this season.
And it's going to be another all-local squad plus Charles Barrett, their Asean heritage import.
Marcus Elliott missing on the shot, leaping home with the rebound, or Lee Cha-ching rather with the rebound.
And Marcus Elliott continues to stay on the floor here. But Coach Edu Torres is about to take him out of the floor to avoid any serious injury, especially in garbage time.
As Barrett misses the jump shot. Substitution here. Marcus Elliott comes out with a triple-double to his name. His second straight of the season and of 2018, 19, 11, and 11 for the reigning World Import MVP, Marcus Elliott.
And this is going to be a nice bounce-back game here for the Hong Kong Eastern squad. Very convincing impending win here against the Dreamers, who are going to fall to 1-8. Next game of Hong Kong is going to be against the Westport's Malaysia Dragons, who are on a run of their own.
That's going to be a great matchup here in Southorn Stadium. Westport's winning 2 straight at home, one against the Dreamers here, the visiting squad, and of course last night winning against the surging Saigon Heat.
That's going to be on next week, January 24.
So Charles Barrett with limited action for Coach Su Hao Cheng here in garbage time, scoring a couple of baskets. Timeout on the floor. 1:33 remaining. Your Asean Basketball League. We'll be right back. And we're back to our coverage here in the Asean Basketball League inside Southorn Stadium. It's an 18-point lead for the home team, Hong Kong Eastern. 93-75, 1.5 minutes remaining in our ball game.
And Martin, for the Dreamers, the process continues. Process of trying to improve on their squad. If the things that the keys that they are going to look at in this ball game, rebounding, they were out rebounded by the Hong Kong Eastern squad, 52-41. Also turnovers, they committed 20 turnovers and gave up 26 points off turnovers. That's pretty much the story of the game for the Dreamers. If they want to find ways in which to improve, those are the areas that they're going to have to look at.
And that's a hard foul on Lee Ping Hung. And even with Ronnie Aguilar in the lineup, Marco, you mentioned they got out-rebounded for the second straight game. They got out-rebounded by 12 against the Westports Malaysia Dragons, and they continued that trend here.
Points in the paint as well. Outscored 50-36, so not really able to capitalize on their strength inside with Ronnie Aguilar and Lenny Daniel.
And give credit also to the defense tonight, given by Ryan Moss on Ronnie Aguilar, just putting a body on that 7-2 frame.
And not just putting a body on Ronnie Aguilar, pushing him away from his comfort zone in that shaded area.
Under a minute remaining, Barrett with a steal. A UK native saves it. Woo Chuk Pan called for the foul.
And a chance for Cheng Chi Kwan to put some points on the board.
So it's Tsai wearing jersey number 32. Entering the floor for the first time, 40 seconds left. The local players here getting a lot of burn in garbage time.
So just a correction, the next game of Hong Kong Eastern is actually on the 24th against the CLS Knights.
Another struggling team.
I believe the Knights are 1-5. Or 1-6 rather.
That's going to be an interesting matchup here. Remember, earlier in the season, in Gorker Kuchaya, as we see that basket there from Long. Timeout here for Coach Suao Cheng. 20-point lead for Hong Kong Eastern. Half-minute remaining in our game. Your ABL will be right back. Suao Cheng with 28 seconds left in our contest. The Hong Kong Eastern basketball team are up. Oh, they're up by 20 points. 97-77 on their way to their 8th win of the season.
Coach Suao Cheng just trying to end this game on a positive note, get some execution off the timeout.
Going back to our discussion earlier, Next opponent of Hong Kong will be against the CLS Knights, as they called the foul on Adam Su. Of course, their first game of the season in Gorkurta Jaya. CLS Knights pushing the defending champs to their limit in that game. That went to overtime, and Hong Kong, just doing a better job in OT, taking that game away. Let's see how they will fare. The CLS Knights will fare against Hong Kong in Southorn Stadium, and one of the most hostile crowds in the league.
Meanwhile, for the Dreamers, Martin, as Coach Edu Torres calls his own timeout.
All right, so back-to-back timeouts here for both coaches. 18-point lead for Hong Kong Eastern, your ABL. We'll return after this. Back inside Southorn Stadium. Off the Hong Kong timeout, 23 seconds remaining. It is a commanding 18-point lead. A quick foul given up by Cheng Chi Kwan. So 2 free throws coming now for Adam Su.
And just extending this game, which has already been decided here.
Adam Su, the product of NYU, coming from a basketball family, also playing for the national team of Hong Kong.
For the Hong Kong Eastern squad, moving forward, especially when they start facing, or when they face the tougher teams, talking about the likes of Chong Son, Saigon Heat, really the locals have to step up, leading with just 4 points in this game.
And a foul given up with 9 seconds left, 20-point lead for Hong Kong. And it's also going to be interesting to see, Marco, how the defending champions will fare against the retooled teams of the league. Talking about Chongsun Kung Fu adding Mike McKinney, Singapore Singers, changing their world import to Chris Charles. Lots of changes going on in the league, while Hong Kong remaining intact with this lineup.
Just by looking at the standings we have, the competition level has really gone up several notches, especially with those new acquisitions of the other teams. So a big challenge here for the Hong Kong Eastern squad to really try to keep in step and defend their crown.
But this is again a great bounce-back win after that tough loss against the Saigon Heat. Sai unable to get the putback. As we wind down,
and final score is going to be a 20-point margin of victory, as Coach Edu Torres and Coach Su Hao Ching exchanges pleasantries at the middle of the court.
our final score 99-79. Hong Kong Eastern goes up to 8-1. The Dreamers drops to 1-8 in the Asean Basketball League season number 8. Handshakes now for both teams. For Hong Kong Eastern basketball team, Tara Lam, the nice bounce back game, 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 dimes, with 4 steals as well for Mr. Lam. And Christian Stan Erdinger, the ever-efficient big guy for Coach Edu Torres, scoring 25 points, grabbing 10 rebounds, and more importantly, perfect from the line. 9 out of 9 tonight after going 5 out of 17. So a great statement game as well for Christian Stan Hardinger. Now on the other side, we didn't mention the triple-double for Marcus Elliott. This is also his second triple-double of the season. Reigning world import MVP Marcus Elliott, 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 dimes as they get co-players of the game, Tyler Lam and Marcus Elliott.
And you know, on the flip side, Martin, talking about the Dreamers, it was a solid 20 minutes of basketball in that first half where they were able to stick close to Hong Kong Eastern. But then again, that third quarter, the 27-17 third quarter in favor of the Hong Kong Eastern, that is where the Dreamers have to grow in terms of maturity. They have to keep playing. They have to keep playing high percentage basketball. They can't fall in love with those outside shots. They have to play to their strengths. Talking about Ronnie Aguilar, Lenny Daniel trying to pound the ball inside the paint, get higher percentage shots. We saw them slip in that third quarter, and just like the champion that they are, the Hong Kong Eastern taking full advantage of those mistakes and really pulling away in that third quarter.
And it has been a very difficult season for the Dreamers as they again drop to 1-8. A young team.
Congratulations on your winning. Last time you guys lost in overtime. How do you guys adjust to prepare for the winning of today?
Just defensively, we came out with a better mindset, focusing, helping each other on defense, and then sharing the ball a little more.
Yeah, I agree with Marcus. I think defense and sharing the ball. You know, it's tough this month, especially. We got 3 games, and we get like 2 weeks in between each game, so it's tough to get a rhythm going. But yeah, like you said, defense and playing together is gonna carry us through anything, I believe.
And it's almost half season now. And how do you think you guys can improve in the next half of the season?
We're gonna take it one game at a time. We're gonna focus on our strengths, and work on our weaknesses. That's it.
I retweet what he just said. Just take it one game at a time, work every day, and try to get better. And just I feel like if we just focus on ourselves, then I think we'll be all right. Focus on ourselves as a team.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Lam says retweet, or retweeting Marcus Elliott. Or Marcus Elliott's statement right there. Again, co-players of the game, Marcus Elliott and Tyler Lam. Tyler Lam scoring 25 points and 7 rebounds with 4 steals. Marcus Elliott going for a triple-double despite struggling from the field. Only 6 out of 16 for Marcus Elliott, scoring 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 dimes. And again, in behalf of our coverage here, our production team inside Southorn Stadium in Wan Chai, Hong Kong, with the home team getting the very comfortable victory, 99-79 over the Dreamers. Hong Kong Eastern again goes up to 8-1 in the season. Good for first place in our standings. This is Martin Navier saying good night, and see you guys next time right here in the Asean Basketball League.